Okay, I just got back from my first ever vacation. I went to Lisbon for 5 days and Porto for 4 days, both in Portugal. And I'm not going to lie, it felt like a waste as a digital nomad. As a digital nomad, I have had the privilege to visit so many new and beautiful cities. I've been to Buenos Aires, I've been to Rio de Janeiro, I've been to Florianopolis, I've been to Medellin, I've been to Lima, I've been to Mexico City, I've been to Los Angeles, I've been to Toronto. You get to go to all of these different places, and you can spend all of your time visiting the tourist attractions in each of them. But the thing is that the tourist attractions just are not interesting. Every city that you go to has a tourist attraction, but they all somehow seem to be the same. And it feels like a waste of time to go see them. I tried to do this in Portugal. I went and bought the Lisbon Pass, and I tried to visit 3 different attractions. And I felt like it was a complete waste of time, and it was extremely tiring. So here are the 3 things that I'm going to focus on for my next vacation, for my next travel instead. Number 1 is the people. I'm only going to go to a place where I know there will be high quality people. That means that there might be friends of mine who I already know who live there, who I would be thrilled to see again, and who would be thrilled to see me too. Visiting friends is such a joy, in particular when it happens in a different country than you first met in. There's something special about that. That was actually the thing that made my trip special. I got to see 2 people who I hadn't seen in a while in Portugal. And that was what made it memorable and meaningful. So visit your friends. Also consider that there may be networking opportunities and events worth visiting. I'm going to look for hackathons, for example, to go to and join, and travel to those cities in which the hackathons are hosted. That seems like a good idea for how to figure out which cities to visit next, because there is definitely an opportunity to meet people who are interested in similar things to you, and that's what makes a trip memorable. So people is one, food is another. I cannot tell you how much more rich my vocabulary of cuisine is now that I have gone through South America and North America and tried different things. It is such a good idea because you learn about all of these dishes that you can incorporate into your diet and into your regular schedule of meals. 2 things that come to mind are chorizo breakfast tacos from Austin. Those were absolutely delicious, and I wanted to eat them like once a day for a month. And I still would if I could. You just cannot get good chorizo in Calgary, where I live. And then there was also this chicken. I think it was, what was it called? Kung Pao chicken? I can't remember. But it was a chicken, it was a Chinese dish. I had it in Buenos Aires, and I remember it because it was the only place in Buenos Aires where you could get spicy food. And I went to this restaurant. It was like a Falun Gong restaurant, but Chinese nonetheless. And they would serve you rice and chicken with lots of peanuts in it and lots of chopped up pimentos. They're like spicy bell peppers, something like that. And I would just chow down on that, and it was so delicious. And it was also very simple to make. It was just soy sauce and flour and some oil, and that was the seasoning for the chicken. Now I can meal prep that and have it ready in 20 minutes. It's a new dish that I hadn't had before, that I hadn't encountered in Canada or the United States, but it can form a part of my repertoire. So that's an example. Brazil, they have such amazing food there. It's very comforting, it's very soulful, and it's filling and it's simple. So now I know Brazilian food. Peru has good food too. And you don't just learn you don't just learn about new dishes, you also learn how to cook them. Like one thing I learned in Brazil that just blew my mind away. I went to this sushi restaurant and they had, tuna sushi, but they had added lemon zest to the top and a few drops of lemon to the sushi. Sorry, not lemon, lime zest. I had never had it before. I'd never seen lime zest on sushi, but it instantly made sense to me, and by God, it was so damn delicious. I don't know if I would have ever encountered lime zest on sushi in Canada. It's just never crossed my mind or the mind of any chef here, apparently, but it made such a difference. So try the food in new countries and in new places. You might be surprised and you might be blown away. Portuguese food I thought would be very interesting, but it wasn't. I don't regret trying it though. That was good. So food is the second, people are the first. The third would be experiences. When I was in Lisbon, I went to the coast and I rented out a surfboard and I went surfing by myself for 2 hours. It was my second time in my life. I was an utter failure, but I went out there. I braved the waves. I learned how to surf a bit more. I learned how to stand up. I learned how to look at the right waves to, try and figure out which ones are worth the opportunity. I did some surfing. I managed to get up on my knees. That was worthwhile. That was a skill that I developed, and it was an experience that I had that will always stay with me. So experiences that you can have in new places, I think, are better than tourist attractions. So we have experiences, foods, and people. Those are the three things that I'm going to focus on moving forward when I go to a new city. And I think those are the things that digital nomads like me, who have a lot of experience traveling, but not a lot of experience soaking in a culture because they're focused on work and optimizing their daily life, can focus on too. Thanks for watching.